Thanks for joining my channel called EduCare. Please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon.
Lesson, a small story. One evening, Sham entered the park with elderly person. He introduced him to his friends. Professor Ahmad was a scientist working in the university. He sat on a bench in the corner. He was tired as he had participated in the Golden Jubilee celebration of the town. In the park, children playing, they came and sat around him. They wanted to know celebration. Professor Ahmed told them that after the cultural program, the senior people discussed the town's unemployment problems. A plan was proposed to put up a factory by clearing an area of the forest just outside the town. This would give the increasing population of the town a chance to get jobs. When Professor Ahmed told them that many people had objected to this idea, the children were very surprised. Then Professor Ahmed explained this is because the forests serve as green lungs and water purifying systems in nature. Children were confused. Professor Ahmed realized that the children had not visited in a forest. The children also wanted to know more about the forest. So they decided to visit it with Professor Ahmed.
A forest is a large area covered with trees, plants, shrubs, and bushes. Forest will be the lungs of nature that offer oxygen for people to breathe, survive, and maintain a healthy ecosystem. Forest is a beautiful creation of nature and the dwelling place of animals. Forests have been a source of livelihood for an incredible number of plants and animals in the world. The tropical rainforest is a very dense forest consisting of mainly evergreen trees all around the year. Trees and forests help in purifying the air. Forests regulate the atmospheric temperature by keeping the environment cool. Forest helps to maintain climate change, restricting the desired change. Forest is a house of thousands of species of animals, birds, and insects. It purifies the atmosphere and protects water bodies. The wood available from the forest is very helpful for humans. For the millions of people, the forest is a major source of livelihood and daily household needs. Australia, Brazil, China, Canada, Russia, and America have the 67% forest of the world. Indian state Arunachal Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Odisha, and Maharashtra have lots of green forest. Deforestation harms the environment, resulting in soil erosion, climate change, and disturbance in the water cycle. We should save forests and stop cutting the trees. We will talking about forest, which is our lifeline. Let's see some topics in this chapter. Forest. Forest is a natural habitat for many different kind of plants and animals. Forests provide food and shelter for animals. Like in ancient time, we used to live in forest. It made all a requirement at that time, but now it is we live in city far away from forest. So we really don't know the importance of forest in our life. An area on a part of land that is covered with trees and a wide variety of plants, herbs, shrubs, trees, creepers, climbers. They help in managing climate, soil erosion, and controlling noise pollution. Erosion means the process of eroding or being eroded by wind, water, or other natural agents. Why we are why we are saying this that we cannot picture our life without forest, because forest we get oxygen, a very important gas for human to survive. Habitat. A habitat is a place where an organism lives, where they can find shelter for protection. Different habitats across the world have different organisms living in them. Habitats comes in all sizes from gigantic rainforest or desert to small habitats. For example, a dead log, a garden, or even a single plant. Forest as habitat. Forests is a renewable sources, a habitat to many forms of survival life like their lion, tiger, elephant, monkey, deer, jackal, fox, bear, etc. Forest provides a home for many animals and plants or other organisms because the forest is said to be the lungs of the earth. Can be defined as a sum total of all the living and non-living elements and their effects which influence human life. Different types of forest, though they may be different, they generally perform the same ecological functions which can be seen in different parts of the world. These types of forest are, but today I am describe mainly some types of forest in India. Evergreen forest. As the name suggests, evergreen forests have trees leaves green throughout the year. They are also known as tropical forests and are found places Western Ghats, Andaman and Nicobar Island. Trees like mango and jackfruits grow extensively here. Mangrove forests. Mangrove forests are common in coastal areas, especially where the rivers meet the sea. Forests are rich in mangrove trees. They have been to reducing impact in tsunami, flooding, and the Sundarbans forest in West Bengal. Mangrove forest in the world largest forest. These forests are common threat deforestation. All these forests are facing lot of cutting of trees. Some common types of animals like lion, tiger, elephant, deer, monkey, bear, fox. The forests also contain insects, butterfly, honeybee, and birds which help on pollination, plant, and growth of forests. Let's see some common types of plants like trees like bamboo, simal, neem, amla, bargad, shisham, etc. Forests also have several kinds of shrubs, herbs, grasses, climbers, and creepers, etc. Let's talk about now we get product from forest. Self observe the various things in your home, school, and make a list of those which are made from material which may have been obtained from the forest. We get several useful questions. Now I have a question. Who would have planted these trees in forest? The forest also contain insects, butterfly, honeybee, and birds which help on pollination, plant, and growth of forest. Nature trees produce enough seeds. The forest floor provides favorable conditions for them to germinate and develop into seedling and sapling. Some grow up into trees. That branchy part of a tree about the stem is known as the crown of the tree. Crown means some like kind of umbrella. Visit a forest or a park in your neighborhood. Observe the trees and try to identify them. You can take the help some elders or books on trees. List the characteristics of the trees that you observe, such as the height, shape of leaves, crown, flowers, and stems. Leaves and fruits. Some crown-shaped trees. These trees crowns of different types and size. The branchy part of a tree above the stem is called the crown of tree. The crown of trees have different shapes. The branches of tall trees look like a roof over over the other plants in the forest. This is called a canopy. This is called a canopy. Look upper part tree and observe how the branches of the tall trees look like a roof over the other plants in the forest. This is called a canopy. The forest understory is the layer of vegetation consisting of small trees, shrubs growing between the forest canopy and forest floor. The sun barely visible means sunlight directly not entered in the forest floor. Next, these trees does crowns of different types and size. These had created different horizontal layers in the forest. Giant and tall trees constituted the top layer, followed by shrubs and tall grasses and herbs form the lowest layer. This is fallen leaves, fruits, seeds, twigs, small shrubs and herbs make a layer on the floor of forest. This layer is always damp and water. The forest floor seemed dark color. The decaying matter is moist and warm. The forest floor sun is barely visible on the floor. There are so many trees here. Also, there are many forests like this. What difference will it make if we cut some trees for a factory? You have read about autotrophs, heterotrophs, and saprotrophs. You have learned how green plants produce food. All animals, whether herbivorous or carnivorous, depend ultimately on plants for food. Autotrophs Autotrophs are the green plants which prepare food by photosynthesis, which absorb nutrients and water for the soil and take carbon dioxide from air and sunlight from the energy source. They provide food to all living organisms which live in the forest, thus they are called the producer. Heterotrophs are animals which get their food directly or indirectly from plants. All animals depend on other organisms for food, thus they are called the consumers. Food chain. Organisms which feed on plants are eaten by other organisms and so on to form food chain. Means grass is eaten by grasshopper and grasshopper eaten by frog, frog eaten by snake, is eaten by eagle. As you can see in the slide. What is humus? Humus, the rotting dead matter in the soil, is called humus. Next definition, humus, the organic component of soil formed by the decomposition of leaves and the other plants and insect, bacteria, mushroom, worm by soil microorganisms. The dead plant and animal tissue and convert them into a dark colored substance called humus consist of dead and decayed plants and animals remains called humus. The organic component of soil formed by the decomposition of leaves and other plant material by soil microorganism. Humus adds many nutrients to the soil. Humus is in the top soil. The microorganism which convert the dead plants and animals to humus are known as decomposers. Tree. A sapling usually develops from a seed similar to a seedling. Typically, a seedling is developed into a sapling. Also, they can propagate from vegetative parts through stem cutting technique. Thus, saplings are mature forms that do not have seed leaves. Saplings are simply young trees that have grown to a diameter of between 1 to 5 inches and have reached a height of at least 4.5 feet. Tree saplings can be packaged in the form of root balls, bare root plants, or in containers. Why forests are called green lungs? Plants release oxygen through the process of photosynthesis. The plants help to provide oxygen for animal respiration. They also maintain as oxygen and carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. That is why forests are called lungs. Balance of oxygen and carbon dioxide uh, because of forests. Photosynthesis is the process that captures light and transforms into the chemical energy of carbohydrates. Trees take in water from their roots and release water vapor into the air through evaporation in water cycle form. Living there, the forest is not just home to plants and animals. Many people also live in the forest. Some of them belong to different tribes. These people depend on the forest for their food, shelter, water, and medicines. They have traditional knowledge about many medicinal plants. The dense bushes and the tall grass provide animals with the food and shelter, also protect them from carnivores that live in forest. The forest is called the dynamic living entity. The wide variety of animals helps the forest to regenerate and grow. All the organisms, whether they are plants or animals, depend on each other and help each other to survive in the forest. We seen in food chain. The dropping of animals and dead leaves of plants are decomposed by the decomposers and converted into nutrients. In the forest, plants produce food. All animals, whether herbivorous or carnivorous, depends ultimately on plants for food. These nutrients are utilized by the seeds to grow. Thus, forest is full of life and vitality, so it is called a dynamic living entity. During the rains, that the raindrops not hitting the forest floor directly. Why? The uppermost layer of the forest canopy intercept the flow of raindrops and most of the water comes down through the branches and the stems of the trees. Also, rainwater drips slowly from the leaves over branches of the shrubs and herbs. Hence, raindrops are not able to hit the forest floor directly. Forests absorb the noise of the activities occurring ground it like sound of vehicles from nearby and thus helps in reducing noise pollution. Causes of deforestation, development projects, massive destruction of forest occurring various development projects like hydroelectric projects, big dams, road construction, mining, etc. Growing food needs in developing countries. This is the main reason for deforestation to meet the demands of rapidly growing population. Agricultural lands and settlements are created permanently by clearing forests. Overgrazing. The poor in the mainly rely on wood as a source of fuel, leading to loss of tree cover, and the cleared lands are turned into the grazing lands. Overgrazing by the cattle leads to further degradation of these lands. Deforestation. Forests are burned or cut for clearing of land, for agriculture, harvesting for wood and timber, development and expansion of cities. These economic gains are short-term, whereas effects of deforestation are irreversible. For ecological balance, 33% area should be undercovered but our nation has only 20.6% forest cover. Effects of deforestation, loss of biodiversity, increased wildfires, increased flooding, disruption of water cycle, increased drought, and increased atmospheric carbon dioxide. Importance of forest. Forest is a natural habitat for a large number of plants and animals. Forests help in maintaining the oxygen and carbon dioxide balance in the atmosphere. Forests help in bringing good rainfall. Forests help to protect soil from erosion. Forests absorb rainwater and helps to maintain water table. We get medicinal plants, timber, and many other useful products from forest. Many people live in forests and forests provide them with food, water, shelter and medicines. There is fresh air and no pollution in the forest. This chapter end here. Thank you for watching this video.